Hey, what's up? I'm Michael, and today I am going to teach you how to make your own cards and envelopes to put them in. For this, you will need a pencil, you will need a ruler, 2 sheets of cardstock. If you want to make bigger envelopes, then you need to get a bigger piece of paper. If you want to make the 5x7 envelopes, you're going to need something that's about anywhere that has to be at least 10 by 10. I'll put it that way. These are 8.5 by 11, so we're going to do the smaller A2 size cards and envelopes. You want some sort of cutting tool, whether it be scissors. And actually, you need some scissors. And I'm going to use an old pair of scissors that I have here instead. I'm also going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to use a scoreboard. Now, you don't have to have a scoreboard, you don't have to have a bone folder. You also will need some sort of glue. It can be a glue stick, or it can be what I prefer is a tape runner. You can use a tape runner or a dot runner. These things are amazing. So I'm going to have all of my tools over here waiting on me, and I'm just going to throw them right over here to the side. So, the first thing we want to do is one piece of paper I'm going to set up here out of my way, and this one, we need to find the dimensions that we need. So, I'm going to refer to a thing that comes with my scoreboard for the card itself. It says the paper size needed for an A2 size. The card size itself, the finished card, will be 5.5 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And you need to have a paper size of 5.5 inches by 8 1/4 inches. So 5.5 inches. What I'm going to do, see if you can see this. 5.5. I'm just going to mark it. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. Just a little mark. And then 8 1/4. So doing this, we're just going to cut it. I believe we're going to cut this directly in half and then cut just a little edge off of it. So you can either take your scissors, or if you have something like this, you can easily do this as well. What I want to do is take this, and I know that basically it cuts directly against that line, so I want to pull this to where I know that it's even, and I'm just going to cut, and that's going to be my card right there. Okay, and now again, I'm going to have this to where I know it's even. I'm going to try to pull it down. I'm going to put pressure on it. And that is our card size. Okay? Now, you have your card size. It says that it is 8 1/4 inches, so we need to score it at 4 1/8 inches, which is going to be right here. Just make sure I got that in there. And you want to make sure that you don't jump the track. It's very easy to do so. So now I have this scored, and I can go back and do this a different way if I want, or I can pick this up and just sort of fold it over on that if I want to. But I'm going to actually score it a little bit deeper, see if I can get this to okay. Alright, there we go. You can score decoratively on this thing, and then you can score to where it's actually scored for folding. So once I have that, I'm going to fold this over, and I'm just going to do that. Now, one thing I'm going to say is your edges, if you notice, your edges may not be exactly 100% all the time. So you want to figure out what you want to do with that. You can either go in and change it so that the back and the front, you can take your paper trimmer and just trim that edge off flush if you want. Or what I like to do is flip it to where the back side has the longer edge, because it's easier to catch your thumb on to open. So that's perfectly fine with me. As long as the edges around it are good, then you're good. You can fold this over when you score it. You can fold it over and get your edges perfect up against something like this. And before you actually score or press it down that first time, and that actually took that edge right up to the thing almost. So I think we're good. That is your card. That's all it takes to make a card. So let's make an envelope for it. You do whatever you want to on your card at this point. I like to round the corners because nobody wants to be stabbed with the edge. This one's not going to bother you that much, but this one, these edges, they do kind of hurt if you poke them a little bit too much. So I like to round the corners. Now, like I said, let's make us an envelope for this. Put this up here. Now, if you're using one of these, if you're using this exact brand, I have a review on this brand and explain this in the review. Do not go by the fold sizes on the sheet. I have told you in that review, I've told you the fold sizes and what you do with them. And I'm going to tell you on here the size paper you need for the A2 size card. Now, if you want to make the 7x5 card, you're going to need to cut it 9 1/4 inches all the way around the square. So you're going to need a bigger piece of paper. We're doing the A2 size, so we need 7 5/8 of an inch square. So I'm going to actually stick this over here and remove this for now. And again, just measure. And it was 5 7/8 of an inch. Or did I read that? No, it's 7 and... Okay, excuse me. It is 7 5/8 of an inch. Alright. 7. And I tell you what, we're going to actually use a different ruler because I can see with this one exactly where I'm at, and I know exactly how I want to use it, and I can make sure that it's straight. So 7 and 5/8 of an inch right here. And now this is a self-centering ruler. They are absolutely awesome. I love them because you can measure stuff from either side. Okay, so again, 7 and 5/8 of an inch. All right, and this is going this way. So then we're going to look at this one and see how much needs to come off of this one. Let's cut this one to size first, and then we'll make our marks. Okay. All right. Now again, 7 and 5/8 of an inch. Let's see here. 7 and 5/8. And I'm just going to use that one mark on this one. Because I know once I get this pulled down, it's going to be right. Now, you can fold something like this. Has a little thing that comes out on it, and I do not use it. I can't measure with it, so you just have to be careful. Okay. There we go. Keep your paper scraps for other projects. You'll definitely you can definitely use paper scraps for all kind of stuff, so keep paper scraps if they're big enough. Now we need to flip this over and grab this out, and this is going to go in my corner right here. And that's going to go there. Now, the horizontal folds are going to be 2.5 inches each for this size. So I'm going to flip this way so it's easier for me. 2.5. I have a hard time getting these started. So there we go. Now turn it to where the one you just done is over here, and do that one again at 2.5 inches. Okay. Now you turn it to the opposite sides where you haven't done any score on either side, and this one is going to be 3 1/4 inches. Ooh, my stomach is growling. So 3 1/4. And honestly, the faster that you score, the less likely you're going to be to jump off of the track. Okay. So our scoring is done. I'm going to leave my bone folder out, but I am going to put my board up. I'm not going to need it anymore. At this point, I'm going to need scissors, and I'm just going to come right in here. I'm going to cut to these corners and just cut these little triangles out. You can do this with a knife if you need to. I think scissors are probably the best way to do this, though. You can also do it with the little paper trimmer if you want. Okay. By the end of the day, doing something like this, my desk looks like a pile of paper. So, just realize that. So, we've just got everything cut, and what we're going to do now at this point is fold over both of these and then the bottom. So you want to find one edge that you want to be the top, and you don't want to do this until you have figured out which is going to be the best side. So honestly, I'm always doing this backwards. I've got the more matte. If you look at cardstock, it has a finer finish on one side. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. It has a finer finish on one side, and then it has this really matte finish on the other side. That really matte finish should actually be the one that's going inside. So I'm thinking we might fold this backwards. It should still work about the same. But I'm going to use the edge of my desk, and I'm going to go on and fold these over. Yeah. So make sure that you fold or you score on the side that you want to fold in, unlike what I just done. But you want to go on and fold all of your sides over so that you can make sure that they are actually folded the way you want them to be folded. So, alright, you've got these two. Now, I'm just going to look at them and see if there's anything I need to do. And this one needs to be slightly trimmed right here. The reason I slightly trimmed that is so that it will fit flush in here. It'll make your envelope work much better. So I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder and fold these down. Now I'm actually going to grab another folder instead. I prefer using another set that I got. I like this one better because I can control it in a different way better. So I'm going to fold that. I'm going to fold this side then. Now you do not have to have bone folders. You can use a ruler to do that. So which one looks like the best? Let's make this the top. Actually, let's make this one the top. So what I'm going to do is take this and go ahead and fold it over. Now, I've already folded it once. I'm just going to go over and smooth out that fold with that bone folder. Now, this is another little trick right here. I can see that needs to be trimmed, so I'm going to just slightly trim it. I didn't look at my corners too good apparently when I was doing this, and I've done the same thing up here as well. So the thing is, you don't want an edge sticking off at all, so it's okay to trim these down slightly. And now that's perfect the way it is. Same thing at the top, really. You don't want one edge to stick down. So I'm going to look at that, and I see that one does. So I'm going to open it back up and trim that one as well. And we're going to see how well that does. Okay. All right. Now, at this point, what we're going to do is I'm going to take, you can take a ruler, you can take a pencil if you really need to. I'm going to take the end of this bone folder, and it's got a little hook on this one, and I turn it over, and I go right along where they meet. And what that does is it gives me a score, and I know by looking at that score exactly where to put my tape. So now also though, I'm going to, actually let me get another ruler, something very small. I'm going to go right here and look at that, and I'm going to put a score mark there. Okay, and I am going to cut this across here. And now our envelope has this. Now, a lot of people, and I will never call out any names for anybody or anything like that. I've seen people do that. I don't believe in doing that on videos, but a lot of people will leave that. If you leave that rounded over, or somebody's going to stab themselves. So, now that we've done that, you can use a little round over punch, you can use scissors, or I have this one here that I like. This is the Crocodile Corner Chomper, and I love this thing. I use it for my bookmarks, and I can't highly recommend it enough. Okay, now it is time to put together our envelope, and I'm just going to take my tape runner. I'm going to find very carefully where I want it to go and pull it across here. I do not want my tape to go past that score mark. So to be honest with you, okay, as long as it's right up at that, I think it's fine. So there we go. Now, if you ever need to, you can pull tape runner tape off. You just rub it up like a rubber cement. But we're going to put that there. We're going to start at the bottom and then smooth it up. Smooth it up on either side from the bottom up. And that will get any air bubbles out, and it will make it so that it fits, and you have just made yourself an envelope. And it's a sturdy envelope. I'm going to fold that over and do that. Make sure that my edges, yep, my edges are perfectly fine now. So you can address it, you can mail it. Will our card fit? Remember, we gave it 1/4 of an inch of wiggle room on either side. Extra that the thing said. It will not move up and down more than just a tiny little, maybe 1/64 of an inch. Well, if I fold it, that line is, I mean, like 1/16 to 1/32 of an inch away from the top. It fits perfect. There you go. Now, if you like this video, if you want to see more tutorials on how to make stuff or art tutorials or anything like that, let me know in the comments what you want to see, and give me a like if you liked it, and watch some of my other videos. Every minute you watch helps me out with YouTube's new policy. Give me a subscribe if you like my videos, and I will see you later.